This game seems like a game that came out in like 2002 in terms of its, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken, which has,
Founder of Korean gaming company becomes billionaire as shares surge on listing. In one of the most highly anticipated IPOs in South Korea this year, shares of online game developer Shift Up soared in their trading debut Thursday, making its founder and CEO, Kim Hyung-tae, a billionaire.
On Kung Fu Hot Dog, there's no such thing as a bad hair day.
And of course, if you happen to be a lucky employee who works for Shift Up, the same people who brought you Nikke, Goddess of Victory, and the award-winning Stellar Blade, well, I guess payday came much later after Christmas, because the CEO of Shift Up has decided to award his employees with lavish gifts. But in the meantime, folks, in the West, Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, Intergalactic, the heretic prophet that ironically won't be making a profit when that game gets released in the year and rear of 2027, won't see anything, because what is Neil going to do? He's going to crunch his staff to death.
So many people were like, Last of Us 1 is perfect. They shouldn't make a sequel.
The same Naughty Dog and PlayStation who said that crunch culture is a thing of the past, but the past now has become a bit of a farce. So if you end up enjoying this video today, folks, and it's nice to start the week with a bit of a celebratory news item when it comes to video games, hit the like button below, smash that subscribe button. And without further ado, folks, is there anything like a bad hair day on this channel? Well, if that's the case, you know what to do. And whatever you do, do not forget to hit that hype button, because I do believe it actually does resurge my channel in the algorithm, and I need all the resurgence I can get because I am the prodigal son.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for Kung Fu Hot Dog.
And here's the article, guys, from the Video Games Chronicle, one of my favorite sites when it comes to gaming ever. Stellar Blade Studio gifted its staff AirPod Maxes and Apple Watches. Well, listen, I mean, if you're really going to gift them with watches, how about getting a Rolex or a Grand Seiko? That would be making more of a statement than a Power Watch, which is all namby-pamby crapola. But look at this. I mean, I'm going to carry on in a second, because the studio frequently awards its staff to encourage talent after following mammoth successes. And of course, folks, when we are talking about mammoth successes, Nikke, Goddess of Victory, has several reasons why those lovely waifus with machine guns are doing their do like Betty Boo and getting you to spend money on their tutti frutti tutus.
Do you need some therapy? If you need to get some things off your chest, come see me.
And of course, Eve from Stellar Blade, who's actually collaborated with the Nikke Goddess of Victory Vixens for lots of fun in the sun with guns and buns. I can't blame the encouragement that this must give the employees who work at Shift Up. I mean, what a great story, right? We got to celebrate these things. Now, back to the article. As reported by Seoul Economic Daily, the South Korean studio celebrated the new year by awarding its roughly 300 staff with cash bonuses and Apple products. The company gave each of its staff a set of Apple AirPods Maxes, an Apple Watch, and a bonus of $3,400, a total value of more than $4,000 per employee. I'm going to suspect that the AirPods Maxes might be for work purposes too. I'm only half guessing that one. I could be completely wrong, of course, and that's obviously very fair. Now, in January of 2025, it gifted all of its employees a PlayStation 5 Pro, which makes sense because Stellar Blade is only exclusive to that particular unit, that console. And again, in June, to celebrate the sale of 3 million copies of Stellar Blade, they gifted everybody a Nintendo Switch 2. Good grief, man. I mean, again, when it comes to culture, Far East Asia, Northeast Asia, if you're talking about Japan, they don't take their staff for granted. Despite the fact that, yes, those guys and gals do get crunched under the sun, but at the end of that glorious rainbow, we're not talking about an LGBT rainbow, by the way, folks, the rewards are ripe. Now, the Seoul-based studio was founded in 2013 by Kim Hayoung-tae, who remains its CEO because he's the absolute daddy and godfather and grandfather, maybe, if he's that way inclined, and the chairman of the board. Now, you know what? I've got a bit of a speculative thing to say about that, but I hope I'm wrong. In the summer of 2024, Shift Up achieved South Korea's largest initial public offering, or otherwise known as an IPO, for a video game company in 3 years, unlike Sony, which is 3 years.
I'm confident in the game if we finish it. I'll be frank, it's not looking great.
Raising 435 billion won, which is $295 million. On its first day of trading, Shift Up said it planned to use the IPO proceeds to diversify its game portfolios. Yeah, I think I remember doing an article about this and people were wondering what do they mean by diversifying, but I think for now, to be safe, it's not about we're going to get Stellar Blade 2 where she's fighting side by side by someone ethnically diverse from Jamaica or Africa. I don't think it's going to be that, but do you know what? If that ever does actually happen, I will find it absolutely hysterical. In November, Shift Up announced a publishing partnership with Tencent for one of its upcoming games. Project Spirit, a cross-platform game coming to PC, consoles and mobile, will be published by Tencent Games' global publishing brand Level Infinite as part of the agreement. Level Infinite previously published Goddess of Victor, Nikke, the PC and mobile game released in 2022 before Shift Up found huge success. And when I say huge success with Stellar Blade, we know exactly what we're talking about, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? I've got to say, this is a fantastic story, and it does take me back to the days when, even now, when you think about how PlayStation are struggling to get projects like Wolverine off the ground. And I saw this Reddit post where they were saying that, yeah, Wolverine's coming out this year because it can't compete with Intergalactic, the hairy less profit, because of its main female protagonist in the same year of 2027, because you can't have two brand new IPs clashing. Despite the fact that PlayStation 3 in its heyday and glorious returns on profit would release multiple IPs from third-party development studios out there, wouldn't they? Because at the time it was a fairly new thing, PS3 finding its strides. And you could argue that PlayStation 5 is in the same sort of sphere where it's, well, I say releasing multiple IPs, but it's not doing much of that at the moment. Again, if you bought a PS5 like I did briefly and then I gave it away, and I probably wish I hadn't done that now, or I sold it actually, it's just gathering dust on your shelf, isn't it? And that's why the PlayStation 6, when that comes out, maybe, I can't see it coming out this year, can you? It's a bit of a divergent turn I'm making here in this conversation. Maybe next year, who knows? But again, we've got that Steam Machine coming out, haven't we? And I can't wait to see what the price point of that's going to be. Maybe $800. But I've got to say, as somebody who absolutely loved the fallout from Stellar Blade when it got announced as Project Eve back in 2022 or 2021, and Alex Battaglia, I won't play that clip again from Digital Foundry, but it's absolutely hilarious. And all I can say is, South Korea, one day I will come to your country and visit it when I make my stop off at Japan. I really, really want to visit South Korea so much. I love the people there. I love the culture. I love the food. Better than boring old Britain. Who wants to live in this effing country? I don't. I'm ashamed to be British. I don't even like to call myself a Brit, but I do like my tits, if you know what I mean. Even the waifu variety. But on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you were me, and if I were you, and if you were Miss Project Eve right here, who just can't control herself, then I'll catch you catching me and catching her for the return of the next video.
When I found out that Stellar Blade was PlayStation 5 exclusive, I was very proud.
My first PlayStation was a PS2 when I was in middle school. I never dreamt that I would ever get to develop the games I played of as a child.
Thanks for watching Kung Fu Hot Dog. Don't forget to like and subscribe.